Do you want to know how to bake perfect fluffy panettone or Easter bread without yeast? Then stay with me and I'll share a recipe I learned from my grandmother. Let's do it! So we have here 3 eggs of room temperature, 350 grams of homemade cottage cheese of room temperature, and I will also link a recipe of homemade cottage cheese here. Let's start by combining dry ingredients first. 240 grams of flour, 1/4 tablespoon of salt, I use pink salt, 15 grams of baking powder, and 15 grams of baking vanilla powder. Let's mix it all. Already smells good because we put vanilla in. When I was growing up, this Easter bread was called Kulich, and it's still called Kulich, Easter Kulich, for all the Slavic countries where I'm coming from. So it is a very dear to my heart tradition to make this bread for Easter. Now in a separate bowl, we're gonna combine our homemade cottage cheese. Again, you can replace homemade cottage cheese with regular store-bought cottage cheese. So let's add 350 grams of homemade cheese. And now we're adding 2 tablespoons or 50 grams of butter. It is very important that butter and cottage cheese are at the room temperature. So we're going to be using this immersive blender for combining our cheese and butter. Now I'm adding 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric, and this we will need for beautiful color. Let's mix it all together. See how beautiful it is? Turmeric will give us that slightly golden color of the batter. And now we're going to take care of eggs. First we need to separate egg whites from egg yolks, and this is a very important step. I will explain why. Try not to break egg yolk. We're actually going to put the egg whites in here and egg yolks into this little plate. Comes next egg. And the next egg. And it's also very important that the eggs are room temperature. If you're afraid of breaking egg yolks, you can do it over this little pan. And now I'm going to beat egg whites with a mixer until it's fluffy and foamy. Now as you can see, we have very thick foam of the egg whites, and we need it for our Easter bread to be fluffy. Now I'm going to add 130 grams of sugar and beat it again. And this is a very thick egg white mass, as you can see. So now we're adding egg yolks. Our egg mixture is ready. Now we're going to combine our cottage cheese and egg mixture. Just like this, how beautiful this is. And now we're going to mix it again. We can put our mixer away. Now I'm going to add to the mixture zest of 1 lemon. You don't have to do it, but I really love everything lemony and zesty, so I'm going to do that. Just zest it slightly. This is something that my grandma didn't teach me, but my husband is half Italian, so we love lemons. When we're in Italy, we walk a lot in Amalfi. Whole Amalfitanian coast is covered with lemons. Okay, we're done with the zest. So now we need to add dry fruit to the batter. I use 80 grams of raisins and 30 grams of dry cranberries. The original recipe from my grandma was only for raisins, and that's the way it's made in Slavic countries. But I like experimenting and adding sometimes dry apricots, in this case dry... forgot what they called, like dry cranberries. If your raisins are dry, you can wash them in advance and then dry with a towel. My raisins are very soft. For the cranberries I have here 50 grams, so I will add 30 grams to the batter and we'll keep 20 grams for the decorating. Add 80 grams of raisins and 30 grams of cranberries. Now I need to mix everything, just to distribute all the dry fruit evenly. And And now the last step, we're adding our dry ingredients. Our flour, vanilla sugar, and baking powder. I'm actually gonna keep a little bit of flour in here because you never know how thick the batter is. You need to look at it and see how well it's mixed. So let's mix it and see how our batter is doing. People in Slavic countries are making this kulichi every year. They make a lot of them, and then they bring them to the church, so those get blessed at the church, and then you go home and celebrate Easter after the service. Well, so far I'm very happy with the texture of my batter. It might be just a little bit liquid. Might be just a little bit liquidier than I would love. So I'm going to add a little bit of flour. You can't work with this batter with your hands, but it's hard enough to be put into the forms for panettone. When I was growing up, we actually didn't have forms for panettone or for kulichi, so we were making them ourselves. But now you can buy everything at the grocery store. This batter smells just amazing. I can smell vanilla and lemon zest, and it's very fluffy. So our batter is ready, and now I'm going to fill the forms. We will be using these panettone forms for our kulichi or panettone. When I was growing up, we were making them ourselves out of parchment paper, but nowadays you can buy everything at the grocery store, or these ones I got from Amazon. I will actually have a link in the description. So let's fill our forms. I have some melted butter here, and I'm gonna use it to put a thin layer on our panettone boxes from inside. I also preheated my oven to 350 Fahrenheit. So I put a layer of butter inside of these panettone boxes. Buttering them will help us extract our kulichi easier from these panettone boxes. So now I'm dividing my batter in 2 portions and fill my panettone boxes with the batter. Now I'm smoothing the tops inside of the boxes, and I'm also going to add just a tiny bit of melted butter on top, just like this. This makes them way smoother. Look how beautiful they are. Okay, we're all ready to go to the oven. Now I'm sending these 2 beautiful panettone boxes with my kulichi to the oven. Like I said, I preheated it to 350 Fahrenheit previously. Here comes the first one, and here's the second one. And they will be baking for about 35 to 40 minutes. I will be checking with a toothpick time to time after about 30 minutes of baking, just to make sure that the toothpick comes out dry. That will tell me that they're ready. See you in 30 minutes. So now we're pulling them out. And here's the second one. Here are the 2 of our kulichi or panettones. I checked them in the oven, and my cooking sword comes out absolutely dry. So now we're going to let them chill for about 30-40 minutes, and we'll make frosting and cover with beautiful frosting. So our kulichi / panettone spent 40 minutes at the oven, and they cooled down for 45 minutes. Just double checking, everything's dry. And now we're gonna remove kulichi. Since we used some butter, they should be removed pretty easily. If you want to keep your kulichi for about a week, I wouldn't remove the paper. But as you can see, it removes very easily. And this is thanks to the butter that we used for wrapping this kulichi. And the last step will be to make frosting, which in my case, it will be white chocolate ganache. So we need 100 grams of white chocolate. I'm just going to break it into small pieces. Also, we need 1/4 cup of heavy cream. Combining these 2. And now we're gonna microwave them for short intervals of 20 seconds, 20-15 seconds. Let's make our white ganache. Place it here and 20 seconds. So now we need to mix it all really well, so there is no pieces of white chocolate. And this ganache right now is pretty hot. As you can see, it's very liquidy. We want it to be a little bit harder. So I'm going to let it cool for about 5-7 minutes. So our chocolate ganache is ready, and I'm going to cover my kulich with chocolate ganache. Here we go. Cover it generously. You can wait for ganache to cool a little bit longer. It depends on how far you want your frosting to go. And now we're gonna decorate it with some dry apricot and dry cranberries. Just use your imagination. You can write something with this dry fruit, or you can just stick them here like I'm doing right now. My ganache is a little bit too warm, so as you can see, it leaked around Kulich. It's okay. And just a few cranberries. My liquid ganache is all on the cutting board, so we're just gonna eat it with tea. So now let's give it a taste. First we'll cut it. Cuts really easily. And look at what it looks inside like. It's like real panettone or Kulich, even though it doesn't have any yeast. But that's the beauty of it, and that's the deliciousness of it. It doesn't have yeast, and it's made with cottage cheese. And look how beautiful it looks inside. This is absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to cut a slice of our beautiful Kulich or panettone and give it a taste. It is really easy to cut. Look at this beauty. I can't wait to taste it. It's like a taste of childhood. This is so delicious. Taste of childhood and taste of Easter morning. I'm very happy that I made today my grandma's recipe Kulich or panettone if you're Italian. If you try this recipe, please leave a comment and let me know how it turned out. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for cooking with me today, and remember, stay healthy, stay balanced, and keep it tasty, like this Kulich. And happy Easter!